Hey there, you wonderful listeners. I have a question for you. Do you want to make a podcast? Well, Spotify's got a platform that lets you make one super easily and then distribute it everywhere and even earn money all in one place and for free. How can you beat that? It's called Spotify for Podcasters. And here is how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit podcasts right from your phone or computer. So no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else podcasts are heard. Video podcasts are also available on Spotify. And when you want to take conversations with your fans to the next level, there are Q&A and poll options available, and those are the best way to get them talking. With Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. And best of all, it's totally free with no catch. Ever since I've discovered Spotify for Podcasters, it has made doing my shows like the Steam Machine Podcast, Yabs Pod, and the JRPG Report much, much easier to do. Like being able to just go on there, record them, upload it, boom, it's done. I don't have to pay for a site service to host or anything like that. It's fantastic. So I highly recommend that you give it a try. Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started today.
Welcome to the Steam Machine Podcast. With your hosts, Dalton and Ryan.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Steam Machine Podcast. My name is Dalton. Joining me, as always, is my good buddy and hetero life mate.
Yeah, this is Ryan.
And this week, we went to Total War.
Hammer.
Hammer. But before we get there, man, how are you doing this week?
Another week in fucking New York hell, I guess. It's still fucking snowing, still cold, gross.
Yeah,
Gross.
It was like 60 degrees here today with the breeze.
It's gonna be like
It wasn't bad.
60 later this week here, which is weird, but it's probably not gonna last for very long, and then we'll probably get hit with like 4 feet of snow. So we'll see.
And I know this isn't going to translate well for the podcast, but sir, is that an Ugly Duckling shirt you're wearing?
Yeah, it is.
Fuck yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah, it is.
They're a good indie team. Shout out to the Ugly Ducklings.
Yeah, they are. Too bad one of them is unfortunately out for medical.
Oh yeah,
medical
that's right.
reasons.
That's right.
We
good
wish
vibes.
him. We wish him well.
Yeah,
and,
good vibes for sure.
Yeah.
Well, this week, so what I've been up to, not much other than like yard work and just some gaming and applying to places. I played Final Fantasy 14 a bunch, and I got all of my gatherers are now max level 80.
Nice.
So my miner, my botanist, and my fisher.
Nice.
And let me tell you, since the last time I leveled fishing to max level, which back then it would have been level 70 on a different character, I think, they added ocean fishing. And
Nice.
I would do the ocean fishing because it's like you just, every 2 hours a boat comes out of this one port and you just go out on it. And, dude, I would get like 4 or 5 levels per trip. It was fan-fucking-tastic. It made my life so much easier. But yeah, that was pretty much all I did. Listened to a bunch of Tadpog. And so I know Dave listens, so shout out Dave from Tadpog. Everybody listen to Tadpog. Tyler and Dave play old games. You've heard me mention him probably almost every episode we've got. They had a guest on who, his name's Casey, and he was telling this story about that him and this girl, without getting into too much detail. Go listen to Tadpog to hear the whole story. But the girl asked him to punch her in the face while they were going at it. And
I saw that either on Facebook or on the Discord. I saw that.
I was like, it resonated with me because I had an ex that asked me to do that one time, and I told her straight up, I'm like, listen, there's a lot of things that I will do for you. Like, I have like little to no limits, except I really don't want to punch you in the face. Like, I don't want to hurt you. I don't need you going to wherever tomorrow with a black eye and having like that's just gonna look bad on me no matter what.
Yeah.
You know.
For sure.
So I just wanted to put it out there that I relate to you, Casey. I relate to you. Not that you'll ever hear this, but maybe the word will get passed on. I feel for you, bud. So I learned an interesting fact this week, and this is going to bring me to a conversation that I would like to have. Did you know in Wisconsin, restaurants can be fined if they serve people margarine and not real butter?
Yeah, no, I believe it.
That's fantastic.
You're also talking about the state of Wisconsin, where the number one food item sold at the Wisconsin State Fair is like a giant 48-ounce mug of melted butter topped with melted cheese over top. You just like puncture the cheese and drink the melted butter. It's like the number one food item at the state fair there.
God, my arteries just clogged hearing that.
That's what they do, man.
I bet it's tasty though. Like
that's why those like upper Midwesterners are all fucking huge Vikings, like
Brock
essentially.
Lesnar's.
Yeah, they're all fucking Brock Lesnar's. They really are.
Tossing hay bales and drinking butter.
Yep, drinking butter. It's like it gets brutal cold there because it's like wide open and like not a lot of hills and stuff. It's like the start of the plains and stuff. So how do you stay warm in the winter? You fucking load up with fat, man.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
You gotta load up on fat, load up on all those calories, and fucking just throw
beer.
those hay bales around. Yeah, beer, brats, cheese, butter.
Yeah, I was gonna say lots of cheese. Yeah, for sure. So what brought me to that was I went down a YouTube rabbit hole the other day. Do you know who George Motes is?
No, not at all.
Okay, so he's like a burger aficionado. He's written books on it. He did a documentary on burgers across the country and stuff, right? And he's got a little YouTube show for First We Feast, which is the thing that has was it Hot Ones, I think. Ooh,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
So he does a little show, and he shows you how to cook regional burgers from different areas of the country.
Mm-hmm.
And he did this burger from Wisconsin.
They probably just throw a huge slab of butter right underneath the cheese.
That is exactly what it was.
Yeah, you know how I know that?
What?
Steak and Shake used to have that on their menu.
Really?
Yeah, they did.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah.
It was really good. The butter keeps the meat super fucking juicy. Like.
Oh yeah, I always like when I do burgers in a pan instead of grilling them. I always baste them with the butter.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's like when you cook a good steak and you throw some rosemary and some butter and spoon it on there. But yeah, dude. So I gotta ask you. So when you're having a burger, do you prefer a burger to be thick, like a big thick, like steak burger, or do you like smashed burgers, or do you like sliders?
It depends on the burger, I guess, in my mood. Like,
see, I'm the same way.
If I got like the ultimate munchies, I'm gonna go for fucking sliders, like, cause I can eat like 12 dozen of them, and they're only like 50 cents each.
Yeah, let me get a sack full.
If I want like a double cheeseburger or something, I'm gonna go with like a smash burger because they're smaller patties and stuff like that. And then if I want like a specialty burger with like pineapple and teriyaki sauce on it, I'm gonna go with a big beefy patty. Like,
yeah. See, I'm the same way. Like, like you said, if you're just in the mood for 20 burgers, then you know you go get a sack full from Crystal's, or White Castle wherever you live, and you'll be good to go, right?
No.
But then, like, to me personally, like when I'm cooking them, I just ask people, do you want diner style? And if they say yes, then I do smash patties, and you just do a double cheeseburger, with minimal toppings, and you're good to go. But as you know, when we used to do the pay-per-views and stuff, I like to do big burgers and like stuff them with cheese, or like one of my favorites is to take
the
blue cheese,
Juicy Lucy's,
put the blue cheese inside the burger, and then cook it, and then put blue cheese crumble and bacon on top.
Yeah.
And oh man, and then drizzle it with buffalo sauce. Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
I worked a pop-up, not this past Friday, but 2 Fridays ago on campus for work, and it was a burger pop-up. We were doing half-pound patties, and God, you would be surprised how many of these fucking college kids ordered doubles. So it was full pound of burger, and then we had one burger on there that had the 2 patties, the 2 half-pound patties, 4 pieces of cheese. No, it was 2 pieces of cheddar and then 2 scoops of blue cheese crumbles, onion rings, bacon, and barbecue sauce.
Oh,
God, we must have sold like 20 of those doubles. So fucking onion rings, bacon, a shit ton of fucking cheese, barbecue sauce, and a full pound of ground beef. Like, no thanks. Like, it sounds delicious, but
No,
that
yeah.
would make me so fucking sick. Like,
No, dude, what you do is you cut that bitch in half and you eat the other half later. Like, that sounds really good. Although, I always have the habit of, when I make a burger with onion rings, I always have to make extra onion rings because I just want some on the side as well. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's like, I want 1 or 2 on the burger. I want the rest of them on the side.
yeah.
Like, man, when we used to do the fest, when we used to work at Fest Wrestling, the ring crew, what was
Yeah.
that place we used to go all the time? Reggae Shack. Their onion rings are phenomenal.
yeah.
They
Yeah.
with that spice that they do on their onion rings, their fries and everything.
Yeah,
It's like,
I never had the fries or the onion rings from there. Every time we went to Reggae Shack, I always ended up getting either the curried goat or the curried palm hearts.
yeah, dude, I remember you got that jerk tofu one time.
Oh,
and
yeah, that.
it came and your plate was just black.
Yeah.
And I dipped a fry in that shit and ate it. And was like,
Oh god, that shit was fucking nuclear. My asshole hated me for like the next 3 days.
I bet.
But that shit was so fucking good. They even warned me. They're like, "Are you sure you want this? Like, we don't change out the container our jerks is in. It just keeps compounding and compounding, and that shit's fucking hot as hell." And I'm like, "All right, let's go." And instant regret. Like, it was
Yeah,
delicious, but god, that was horrible.
Yeah, I remember you definitely took some of that home for sure because it was just so fucking hot.
Yeah.
Man, but that place, like, for being like a Jamaican place,
Yeah.
which, like, they have oxtail and all of that, dude, their burgers were phenomenal. And they were diner
Yeah.
style. They were smash burgers. But they just, that seasoning that they had, and I don't know how to describe it to people. It's like salty, but it's got sugar in there too. It's like,
Yeah.
it's really salty but sweet at the same. Oh,
What did they call
so
them?
good.
Like
Duddy.
Duddy fries? Yeah.
Dirty fries.
It was like black pepper, allspice, star anise, and like sugar.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
was
maybe
weird.
some clove. Maybe some clove
But
in
it
there
was
too.
but
so
it
good.
was really good. It was really good.
Yeah, dude. So yeah, I went down a rabbit hole watching burger stuff, and it just made me think of that. And then I'm watching Good Mythical Morning, and they were talking about, like, what's the best late night snack. So, like, what is your favorite late night snack? You wake up, or, you know, you're up late, you got the munchies. What are you going for first? Are you going to heat something up? Or are you just going for the cookie jar? Well, I know you're going for the cookie jar, but cookies aside.
Yeah, I'm going for the cookies or the candy or maybe a big bowl of cereal every now and then. I definitely have a sweet tooth. Like, nothing too savory for me, especially like late night munchy snacks. Nah, I gotta go sweet.
Yeah, dude. Cereal all the way for me. Unless it's like one of those nights where I'm awake all night, and then when it's like, 4 in the morning, I'll go in there and be like, all right, I should probably make myself something that semblance is dinner, like, But
Yeah.
Other than that, cereal all day. Usually, Lucky Charms or Raisin Bran. I think I've got some.
Look at
Cinnamon
you
Toast
being
Crunch in there, too.
healthy with the Raisin Bran.
I fucking love Raisin Bran. Now, you want to hear something funny?
We get the honey bunches of oats, like the Wegmans generic version of it on WIC. So we don't pay for that, but we get a shit ton of it for free. So that's what I've been eating.
Honey Bunches of Oats
But
is fire, dude. It's good stuff.
If I get to pick my cereal, I'm probably going for like the Reese's Puffs, like the chocolate and peanut butter. Like those
I can get
those are
behind
fucking
that.
good. Yeah.
I haven't had those in years, but they are pretty good.
Yeah.
I really like Raisin Bran. But I prefer just bran flakes, honestly, and then to put my own raisins in there, because sometimes there's not enough, and sometimes the bowl has way too many. Like, there's no happy medium, so if I could just put my own in there, that'd be great. But
Yeah.
I learned something on Good Mythical Morning the other day, and that's one other thing that made me think of this. So, Raisin Bran Crunch has more sugar in it than Oreos.
Yeah, well, I believe it.
That blew my
those
mind.
those crunch clusters are probably covered in like sugar syrup and honey and stuff to get them to stick together. Like,
Yeah, I assumed
Yeah.
so, but I was just
get it.
surprised, and I was
I
like,
had to show somebody at work the other day. They're like, what was it? It was like one of those naked juices. And I was like, have you tried this one? It's the pina colada flavor. It's really fucking good. They're like, no, have you seen the sugar content in it? And I was like, so I turned and looked at it, and I was like, you see this? It's all natural sugars. There's nothing added. So if you want to bitch about the natural sugars, go yell at the fucking fruit they put in there. Like,
fucking dumb mango.
yeah.
Or no, I guess
Yeah.
pina colada wouldn't have mango, but
It's like pineapple and coconut and shit
Coconut.
like that. But it's all natural sugar, nothing added to it. I mean, you're gonna bitch about that? Like, come on.
Dude, I used to have a teacher used to crack me up because he'd always get these girls that wouldn't be suspecting it with it. Girls would be talking about they want or dudes. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna to stereotype. It was either. Would talk about, man, I wish I had some candy or some chocolate or something. And the teacher would be like, yeah, I'll give you some chocolate. Hold on, and he would break a square off of this bar that he had that was 90% cocoa.
90%,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, and they would be like, oh, sweet, and they would take a bite out of it and just immediately their whole day was ruined.
Yeah, ruined. That shit's so fucking bitter. Like, it's definitely acquired taste. I could sit there and munch on it because I've sat there and munched on it so many fucking times. Like,
Man,
I think my favorite, if I'm going to go for just a standard plain chocolate bar, I'm going to go for the chili infused chocolates. Like, get a little bit of spice with that sweetness.
yeah, those are really good.
Yeah.
I do like those. What blows my mind is spicy ice cream. Like, that's just,
Yeah.
I can't fathom that. But I want to try it. Like,
the
really
cinnamon fireball ice cream.
really
Like,
fucking just you eat it and it's so cold and then you swallow it and your fucking mouth's on fire.
there was a place right around the corner from one of my apartments in Rochester. I think it was called Hedonist Chocolate and Ice Cream. Is some like craft chocolatier and ice cream place, and they used to do their own ice cream in store, and it was always weird fucking flavors. And this one ice cream that I had that I really remember because it caught me, like, I was just flabbergasted that they even made it, but it was a Thai green curry ice cream, and it was delicious. It was really fucking good. It was cold, but it was
sounds
spicy,
interesting.
and like you were saying, but it was fucking good. Like,
I'm basically, when it comes to food, more often than not, I'll try anything twice. Because
Yes,
the
twice.
first time it might be whoever made it didn't make
Yes.
it great, or whatever. But so I
That's-
always try it twice.
That's what I tell everyone. It's like, this is my policy for food, and if you're going to work at a kitchen, this should be your policy for food too. Is like, you have to try everything twice just to make sure you didn't like it the first time. Like,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I feel like that's just the way to do it.
yeah, for sure.
And that brings me back to the burger thing real quick, and then we'll get off food. But when I was watching George Moats, some of these regional burgers he was doing these very specific regional burgers, and I don't remember where they were from, of course, now that I'm trying to talk about them. But I remember what they were because they stood out to me. I love olives, okay?
Yeah.
But this burger's only topping was a double cheeseburger, one slice of cheese,
Mm-hmm.
or a double burger with one slice of cheese, and then the topping was cocktail olives without the pimento. You chop them up,
Mm-hmm.
mix it with a little bit of mayonnaise, and then a little bit of like a spoonful of the olive juice, and then mix that up and put it on your burger, and that's it. The other one that I thought was even weirder, and this is not a regional burger. This is from one restaurant in this one specific place. They crush up peanuts and mix it with Miracle Whip, and then they put that
that's-
on the burger.
That's a little fucking weird. Like, peanuts in Miracle Whip on the burger? No, you already done fucked up with the Miracle Whip. Like,
Yeah, dude. I'm right there with you. I don't care
But-
what anybody says. Miracle Whip's disgusting.
I've had peanut butter on a burger before, just once, and it was good. I want it again. Like,
Yeah, I've heard that is a valid thing, and I mean at Relish you can get peanut butter and jelly on your burger if you want. Now, granted, it's probably there for kids that just want a peanut butter and jelly, but it's there if you want it on your burger.
yeah. There's a bar not too far from here, and they have been doing peanut butter and jelly chicken wings. And apparently, when the nights that they do the peanut butter and jelly chicken wings, is they sell out. Like,
I can imagine. Well, that would be kind of. Well, I guess that's kind of like chicken and waffles. You know what I mean? Like the sweet with the savory.
yeah.
So, and I don't know. Maybe it'd be almost like a peanut sauce esque. But I don't know. I'd try it. I would try it.
Yeah, I would try them.
Oh man. But yeah, dude. And sir, I took out a rack of ribs today, so I'm gonna be grilling again soon. So be posting pictures of that. And speaking of pictures of food, our buddy Fenris in Discord been making me fucking hungry lately. He's been posting some pictures of food that he makes at work,
Yeah.
and it's fucking delicious. And then you had me wanting to eat an apple bird the other day.
Look at his food. He's got some decent plating. Not bad.
Yeah, there's some tasty looking stuff. And then Dylan which is DC Smokedown in the Discord.
Yeah.
Dylan made some lobster, and I was just like, damn it, man. Oh, yo, it made me want to grill. So now
I see that. I
gotta bust the grill out.
I'll have to start taking pictures of my food and shit from work and putting it up there.
Do it, man.
I'm gonna show 'em my swan that I cut out of an apple the other day, and
Yeah, so I really wanted to eat that bird you made. it was just an apple bird, and I was like, dude, I just want to take a big bite out of that thing.
oh, it probably would taste absolutely awful because you have to soak it in lemon juice so it doesn't oxidize and brown.
Yeah, that's fine. Just really tart apple would be good. Be fine.
Yeah.
Be like, this coffee tastes like shit. It's because it is shit, Austin. All right, well, good. I'm not the only one. All right. So this week, our game was Total War Warhammer 2, and I fucking had a blast with it. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that right now.
I had fun. I had a couple hours of gameplay when I first started and stuff like that. Then I got busy with work and the kids and stuff. Went to pick it up again, and Steam updated when I restarted my computer. Go to open it up, all my fucking save data's gone. All of my save data's gone. I even showed you a fucking screenshot of my computer. Like, just all gone. Like,
Yeah, that's
and it's
fucking
disappointing because I was really having so much fun with my Dark Elf campaign. Like, it was good.
Before we get more into it, let me get this obligatory Wikipedia bullshit out of the way. We should start calling that OWBS. Oh, ALBS. It's the No, I'm just gonna call it obligatory. That didn't work the way I wanted it to. It's just didn't. No. So Total War Warhammer 2 is a turn-based strategy and real-time tactics video game developed by Creative Assembly and published by Sega. It is part of the Total War series and is the sequel to 2016's Total War Warhammer. The game is set in the Game Workshop's Warhammer Fantasy fictional universe, which is apparently, I didn't really know much about Warhammer, but I started looking into it, and there's the Warhammer Fantasy, and then there's like the Warhammer 40K, which is like, I guess, way in the future.
Yeah.
So this game was released on Microsoft Windows-based PCs on 28th of September 2017.
I thought these games were older than that.
Whoever wrote this was from Europe, because because anytime I read something and it's by an American, it's always September 28th, 2017. This one is the 28th of September 2017, which just, I don't know. It's just a little thing that I've learned from talking to British people.
It might be British people. I know from my time in the military, we always put date, month, and year, but you didn't like numericize the month. You actually like spelled it out or abbreviated it. So.
Okay, so it could be a military person.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
I know a lot of guys in the military who spent a shit ton of money on fucking Warhammer and World of Warcraft and all that shit. When you have that money and you have that time and you don't fucking do anything, they had awesome fucking systems and shit in their dorms and their barracks. Right.
I can imagine. You got the time and the money.
And the money.
Yeah.
And the money.
I do not. I was like, man, Warhammer sounds cool, and I started looking into it, and I was like, oh yeah, I do not have.
Yeah,
the money to sink into
Warhammer. I have interest in learning how to play Warhammer, but I do not have the money to play Warhammer. Like, that is one of those games that it's for the privileged and the elite. That's a game for the 1%. Like, you have to have money. If you don't have the money, you have to have the time, because you have to paint all your fucking miniatures and shit like that. Like,
yeah, and Kana in our Discord said that she at one point was into Warhammer and used to really enjoy painting her figures and stuff. But
yeah, you can make a lot of money custom painting figures for people.
I wish I didn't have shaky hands. Maybe I would take that up.
Yeah. Eat more bananas. You're low on potassium.
I do like bananas.
Yeah.
You know what I like bananas in? My Raisin Bran.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, tying it back. Anyway, in the campaign, the players move armies around the map and manage settlements in a turn-based manner. Players engage in diplomacy with and fight against AI-controlled factions, and when the armies meet, they battle in real time. So you can also like do customized battles, and you can do online multiplayer battles, which would probably be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And if you own the first game, which we do, it puts all of the entire first game into the second game if you'd like.
Interesting.
So when you went to choose your campaign, you had two choices. You have Eye of the Vortex,
Yeah.
and the other one that I can't think of the name of right now. It's like Shattered Legacy or something like that.
It was something like that. I played Eye of the Vortex.
Mortal Empires. That's what it was called.
Mortal Empires. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So I started Mortal Empires first, and you said you chose the Dark Elves.
Yeah.
And who did you choose now?
Malekith.
Malekith. All right. Yeah, dude. I went with the High Elves first. And chose Tyrion.
Yeah.
Because, okay, so I have this weird thing when I play video games that the first time I play through a game, if there's a choice of being a bad guy or a good guy or anything like that, I always play good guy first.
Yeah.
And I go through and do the good guy playthrough. And then I turn and I'll, like, go and do the other stuff. I've always done it ever since Oblivion.
Good guy, bad guy's in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like D&D, I'm straight chaotic neutral. I am in it for just whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
But
I went Malekith because he's one of my favorite Marvel villains, and I was just like, cool. They have a dark elf, and his name is actually Malekith. Okay, I'm going for it. Like,
yeah, see, I didn't even know he was. I didn't even know he was a Marvel villain. To be honest.
Yeah, the movies kind of ruined him a little bit, even though one of my favorite actors portrayed him, Christopher Eccleston. But in the comics, he's ruthless. He's ruthless. Just a couple years ago, they released an arc called War of the Realms, and Malekith and the Dark Elves have actually taken over every realm except for Midgard, which is where War of the Realms picks up, is the invasion of Midgard, the invasion of Earth.
Well, damn.
Yeah, it was fucking wild. It was fucking cool. Huge arc, though. It had, like, how many different crossover titles? Like 12 or so, I think.
Jesus Christ, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot, dude.
There's Spider-Man, Squirrel Girl, Iron Man, Punisher. Oh God, there was a lot more. There were so many. I have like an entire box of just War of the Realms comics because there were so many as part of that arc.
I mean, man, I'm trying to think of the last arc of comics that I bought. I think it was like 5 or 6 issues, and it was the X-Men reviving Dracula because there was like a vampire plague almost going on, and I remember Wolverine turned into a vampire, and they resurrected Dracula. They didn't know if Dracula was going to help them or not.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's been forever. And I'm also very tired, if anybody can't tell. So sorry,
Yeah,
I'm losing my train of thought as I'm talking.
Same. Up till midnight watching AEW Revolution last night, and then up at 5:30 for work.
Okay, pause on the game real quick. We got to talk about the main event from that. Okay, so
Yeah.
it's this barbed wire. It's supposed to be an exploding barbed wire
Exploding barbed wire death
and
match.
if you've ever seen videos of those in Japan, they're insane. And that
Yeah.
final explosion puts off like a small bomb's worth of smoke, even though it's not dangerous. I mean, it is, but they know what they're doing, and it just fills the whole area with smoke. From what I saw from the AEW one, it looked like what's his face? Not Ethan Page.
It was Eddie Kingston.
Eddie Kingston covers John Moxley to make sure he's okay, and then like some sparklers went off, and it went.
It's like
outside.
Gilbert came out with the fucking sparklers and shit. Yeah, but I was super disappointed with it at first and everything, and then I got to thinking, and then I was doing some reading on Twitter, a couple other tweets, and there were some other people who were going down the same thought path that I was going. They were promoting this match as Kenny Omega's idea. Him and his manager there, Don Callis, and the Good Brothers, and I guess Bullet Club 2.0, if that's what you want to call them, built the ring. They built the set. They did all of that shit. Why wouldn't Omega set up that last explosion to be like absolutely nothing? Especially if he lost. Like, why would he want to blow himself up if he lost? Like,
I guess so.
I think it's just like an epic troll.
But that
now, like, Kenny Omega can just be like, you look at that, you see how scared you got in the ring, Eddie Kingston and John Moxley, and it was just a bunch of fucking sparklers. Like,
I loved the promo that Moxley cut after the cameras went off. He like sits up, he's looking at the crowd, and he goes, "Man, I tell you, Kenny Omega's a tough son of a bitch, but he cannot build an exploding ring for shit."
Yeah. No. Just that last explosion was the only disappointment in that match. The rest of the match, though, was brutal. The rest of the match was hardcore, and every time they hit the electrified barbed wire, the explosions that popped off of it were actually decent. Like,
yeah, they looked way better than the ending explosion.
yeah,
which is,
that
I think,
last
everyone.
one was like, that was pretty much it.
Yeah, it was like a. I don't even know how to describe it. I guess maybe like if you were having like an hour-long sex session and then at 59 minutes it was just over and you didn't get a chance to bust a nut, or you did, and it's just kind of like poof.
Yeah.
But yeah. So anyway, yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. Also, kudos to Christian. You were right. I was wrong. I thought it would be Kurt Angle, but
No, Kurt Angle just started his own like nutrition line or something like that. So
and he has a podcast now.
That's what he's focusing on. I think he's like done wrestling. I think for good now.
Can't say I blame him. You know,
yeah, I called Christian. There were some
What'd he
other.
say?
No, I didn't call him, but
I know. I was just kidding.
I figured it was gonna be him because he hadn't been mentioned on AEW TV since his appearance at the Royal Rumble. Like, I don't think they have him on their Superstars page on their website. I don't think they have any of his merch on the store and anything like that. He's not under contract. I think it was a one-time appearance sort of thing.
Yeah, I saw a tweet that had the little clip of him and Edge hugging, and Edge was like crying, and I think the tag was like, "We thought this was a reunion. They knew it was a goodbye," like, or something like that. You know, I was like, "Oh, well, that's sad."
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, so the different races that are in this game. Total War Warhammer 2, if you have forgotten what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, or I should just say gentlemen and probably lady. I think it's Corinne is the the lady that we have got. That's our demographic. I could be wrong though. I could be wrong. Oh, there's Kana. So we got two.
Yeah.
So
we know we got the light elves, the high elves, and the dark elves.
Dark elves.
That's what we played.
And then the other two that are available without any of the DLC, which we'll get into DLC, is the Lizard Men and the Skaven.
Yeah.
Now, there are in the actual, like, while you're playing, you will also see the Tomb Kings, and you'll see like the Vampire Coast, and you'll see the Hunt Marshals Expedition. Like, you'll see all these people, but you can't play as them unless you buy the DLC for them.
Yeah.
And like Warhammer, Total War is a game for those who have a lot of money if you want to play all of it, because there's like 20 DLC, right?
Yeah, there's a fucking lot of DLC. I thought about it when I first opened it up and it was checking out the DLC and shit. And then I opened up the Steam page and I started seeing the prices and I was just like, I'm good.
Yeah.
The base game it is. Like,
yeah, I had the same thought, brother, because I had some extra money and I was like, dude, I'm not.
Yeah.
Like, it was from $8.99 to $18.99, just depending on what you get.
Yeah.
But I will say, any of the DLC from the first game carries over to the second game. Like, so if you play the mode where you can have both games, like, all of your shit from one carries over. For instance, the one DLC that I did buy was Glory for the Blood God. Glory for the Blood God. And that was to enable blood. And I know that's kind of a shitty thing that they had DLC, but I'm like, dude, I'm not playing a war game and there not being some fucking blood and gore and stuff. Like, come on now. I am warped. I need that kind of stuff. I want to see people bleed. So I did get that, so I bought that for the first game, and I fully expected to have to buy it for the second game, but no, if you have it for the first game, it automatically gives it to you for free. So I thought that was cool. You only have to get it once. So what brings me to all of this is we'll get to that. We'll get to that later. I should have a shirt. We should have a shirt that has me and you, right? And it's got speech bubbles, and yours should say yeah, and mine should say we'll get to that, because it's like I feel like that's our catchphrase. We always say that. We would always say that shit. So started out as the High Elves, and dude, this game's not easy when you're first starting out.
No, when you first started out, it took me a little bit to get into it, to get used to it, to like figure out what the hell's going on, because I'm not a mouse and keyboard gamer. I'm really not.
Yeah, and this is all mouse and keyboard for sure.
Yeah, this is all mouse and keyboard, and there are a lot of fucking buttons to hit. So it took me a minute. I had to open up a browser page that somebody had made that had like just a quick key of what key does what.
Oh, yeah, beautiful.
Sort of like you found for Planet Zoo.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I found one of those, and I had to keep, like, alt-tabbing out just to check, and, like, okay, this is that button, this is that button. I don't have to, like, go through the options and try to find my controller settings and, like, figure out what key is which, like. But once I started getting the hang of it, this game got so fun. Like,
yeah, it really did.
This game got so fun. And it reminds me a lot of Civilization.
I was just about to say that.
Don't get me wrong. I love the Civilization games. This game was funner. Like, this game was great.
Yeah, because it takes, like, the city, having your cities and building things in your cities and stuff, and it doesn't go as nearly as in depth with the actual, like, what you're going to do in your cities and stuff as Civilization. But whereas in Civilization, when you go into war and you kind of just click and they do their little fight and you either win or lose. No, this one, you click it and you guys go into, that is where the total war actually happens. And that is where, for instance, I went into a battle with an enemy general, and he was by himself. And I had an army of, you can have up to 20 units, and each unit can have between, like, 80 to 100 to 120, depending on who you're playing as, what type of unit they are. They have their limits. But I had at least 700 or 800 people, 900 people, right, in my army against one dude.
He slaughtered them all.
No. Oh. No, he didn't even make it to me, but it's because 15 of my units with this particular general that I had were archers.
Oh, fantastic.
So this, I tried to picture it from this dude's perspective, right? So, like, the battle starts, and he starts running down this hill, and he sees this army, and then there's just, the sky gets dark.
Yeah. All right, platoon, let's fucking black out the sky.
Yeah, and it just rains arrows on him. He never even made it halfway. They just ate him up.
That's like one of my favorite scenes in 300.
Yeah, it's exactly what I was trying to think of, is what movie that was. Yeah, that. What it happens to Leonidas and them, right? Isn't it the Persians do that to them?
Yeah. The Persians
I thought so.
launch hundreds of thousands, if not like 1 million arrows all at once. Like, absolutely not.
No, thank you. How do you fucking defend yourself from that? Like,
the Tortuga defense. You got them shields, buddy. Yeah.
Shields up, trousers down.
Oh my god. Oh man, I gotta wait. No, maybe not. I think that reminds me, the South Park where Butters and all them were protesting against the girls, and they were doing the wieners out. They were dropping their pants and holding their fists up.
Fucking God.
Where they were protesting the national anthem or whatever. Yeah.
Wieners out.
Yeah.
I fucking forgot about that. Yeah.
Oh my god, he's got the megaphone and he's leading like a march through the school, and all of the kids got their pants down and they're all chanting wieners out. Like.
Oh man. Oh yeah. Okay. Spoilers. We already ran Steamy to make sure that Ryan could play it, and we got South Park: The Stick of Truth, and that's going to be our next game. But we'll talk about more of that at the end of the. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Hashtag. We'll get to that. So yeah, dude. When I first started out, I'm like, all right, so this can't be too hard. All right, there's an enemy general over there. I'm gonna go attack him to see what the battle's like, dude. I got fucking owned.
Yeah.
Fucking owned, because they don't have to kill your army if they get your army weakened enough where your army retreats to go like
that morale goes down enough. Yeah, they'll fucking just bail.
Some of the enemies, and your guys will do this too. Some units will chase them no matter what.
Yeah.
So they will just straight chase your dudes out of the zone, and then they are gone. You can't use them anymore, and eventually it'll be like, you died or you lost. It'll be like Pyrrhic victory, which is or Pyrrhic. I don't know exactly how you say it. Victory, and that is like where you should not have won, but you did. I'm pretty sure. There's close victory. There's decisive victory. Then there's like decisive defeat, close defeat, or valiant. No, I think it's valiant defeat. Where it's like it's when you get valiant defeat, it's like you may have lost, but your enemy is broken.
Yeah, where it was like a 50.1% victor to 49.9% loser. Like, yeah, super fucking close.
There was one battle
I lost my first couple of battles because I'm still trying to figure out the fucking keyboard situation. But yeah, it turned into less losing, more dominating, more turning the realm black.
Yeah, dude, I did have a lot of fun playing with the high elves.
No.
Their whole thing was like diplomacy.
What were their perks and stuff?
So they're really good with their archers are really good. They do a lot of damage. And they have like diplomacy. So like every round I would get this like these little choices where it's like or not necessarily every round, but it would be like, oh no, the king's daughter is having a dinner. What would you like to do to show face, kind of thing? And it would be like, do you want to show up and dance with the queen? Do you want to send a large gift? Do you want to send a small gift? Or do you want to snub the ceremony? And each one would have like your influence. So like you have influence points that you gain. That's the currency I was trying to think of. So as you get these influence points, you can then use them to enact your rights, or sometimes you needed them to like recruit generals. You needed a certain amount of leadership, or whatever.
Yeah.
So they had like different little things, but like mostly I feel like that they're archers, and they just had some badass. So my main guy was Tyrion, but I played my second in command. I guess it would be first in command, second in command.
Yeah.
Is Alistair the White Lion. What a bad motherfucker, dude. I got him leveled up. He was like level 29 when I quit that campaign and started at the second one, which I'll get to. He rode a dragon and wielded an axe. So I had he had stats. So each of your generals has like a skill tree.
Yeah.
You could put your skills in. So it's got an RPG element to it almost. And I leveled him up to have a dragon mount, have really good leadership, inspiration, basically. He also intimidated the enemy, and he was really good at commanding the White Lion Guards, which are big, heavy armored dudes with fucking battle axes.
Yeah.
So I had like 10 of those units, and then archers, and bro, nothing stood a chance unless I needed more than one army. And then, so this is another thing. Sometimes you would go to do a battle, and it gives you a bar of yellow and red, and the more yellow it is, the more likely you are to win. The more red it is, the less likely you are to win. Well, sometimes in order to amend that, you could bring another army in next to your other one, and when you would click the battle, it would have your army, and then it would have your other army as a supporting army. And you could choose to let the AI control them, or you could control them yourself. I usually chose to control them. Like one in particular, there was a siege, and sieges are different than the normal battles. The normal battles are on like open plains. There might be some trees and hills and stuff. Sieges is you actually having to fucking bust down the walls of a place or the gates and go in and actually see a fucking siege.
Yeah.
And I went into one siege where they had one army. I think it was Skaven, which are the rat guys. They like live underground and shit, right? So they had their place. And I had 3 of my generals with all of their armies go in. So I took a picture of it and put it in Discord. And it was like the yellow bubbles over here. Where there was like, an armies. And then just down where my guys are is just a sea of blue circles. And I'm like, oh yeah, that battle didn't take very long. Like I had dudes going up every wall.
That was decisive.
But nothing compares to. So I stopped playing the high elves. I was like, let me try out another race to see what's going on with these, right? And I chose the lizard men. Now,
you showed me this, and this when I do my next playthrough, this is what I'm choosing because of what you showed me.
So full disclosure, I did this yesterday, and I cheated just because I wanted to get in and see, how they play and everything. I didn't want to worry about dying. I just kind of wanted to feel it out. So after a few rounds, I got a they don't have the same thing that high elves do. So you don't need the like political intrigue stuff. You don't worry about that. You can still make deals with people, trade agreements, peace pacts, declare war, all of that, but you don't get the stuff worried about in the courts because you're just fucking lizard men. Like, you are trying to you have this grid that you worry about, and there's these certain points that are like shrines and temples that you want to take over, because then your shamans do this chanting ceremony, and that accesses the vortex, and you basically want to take that vortex over. Yeah. So this is when I chose the Warhammer 2 campaign for this one. If you haven't really noticed, me and Ryan didn't pay much attention to the story for this game.
No, not at all. I was too into the actual combat system and the actual combat of this game.
Same here.
I know that there's once I started the combat scenarios and stuff like this, I was like, what game are we playing? Because this is all I want to do.
Yeah, I paid attention enough that there's the giant vortex, and you're basically trying to gain control of it. Like, that's what I know.
Yeah. I know, from what I remember of my Dark Elves campaign is I know you want to play it, as evil as possible. Like, every time you defeat an army, any survivors you capture become slaves. You get to sacrifice slaves. You get to sell slaves. They're part of your economy and shit like that. And when your economy is, slave-driven, you don't make peace pacts. You try to acquire more economic standing. So... Yeah, super evil playthrough. Super evil playthrough.
As the lizard men, I slayed everybody. So you got the choice to ransom them off, kill them, or just straight up take them into your army and force them to fight for you. And I just would kill everybody.
That's the right choice.
I got a blessing from the old gods, for a general who had a special army or whatever. So I was like, okay, cool. So I click on him, and his whole squad is just Triceratops and Tyrannosaurus Rex looking dinosaurs, right, with armor and shit. And I'm like, no fucking shit. So he had 15. So the other 5 I put in were I don't know. I think they were the lizardmen, spear guys with shields or whatever. But it didn't matter. I sent you some video of it that you'd zoom in, and specifically the Tyrannosaurus Rex dudes would. Or not even dudes, they were giant.
They were T-Rexes. They were T-Rex. They were T-Rex.
They run and they just leap into the middle of a group of enemies and just land, just smash, and then they grab one with their teeth and fling it around, and then they
One of the things I loved about this game is when that dinosaur hit the ground, you would actually see individuals from that unit go flying in all directions. It wasn't just it landed there, and some games would forget to animate that shit in. This game actually they took the time to put in the details that, hey, this big ass fucking dinosaur just landed amongst these humanoids. They're gonna go fucking flying everywhere. Loved it.
Absolutely.
Loved it.
I one of the videos I was watching, because I was watching a lot of YouTube about Warhammer, this specific game, this week, and the dude was talking about that the creators made sure to meticulously animate the different mounts and stuff that would do their attacks, because they wanted them to look really good, and that also translated over to the different special kinds of units that you can get, including these dinosaur ones. And there are other ones.
They succeeded for sure.
Yeah,
this game is great.
So after he bites him, he's swinging the teeth around and everything, he will swing his tail, and like you said, you'll just see a whole group of these things, people just go flying.
Yeah.
Boom. So then I switch over, and I didn't send you a clip of this, but the Triceratops looking guys, those things would go running into the crowd and just hit them, and it would just send the crowd of them flying, right? So I had a siege, and I so you can change the name of your generals, right? I named the general that had those guys, his name was Dino Lord, in all capital letters, just Dino Lord, which, by the way, I am going to write a fucking metal song and call it Dino Lord, and it's just going to be about dinosaurs, because the whole time I would be playing him, I was just like, Dino Lord, Dino Lord. I don't know why. So anyway, I I had a siege with him, right? And I just chose 2 Triceratops, and I clicked the doors of the places, and I just said, I just want to see if this works. So I hit it on 4 times speed, and just these 2 solo just ran up there, got to the doors, and just smashed them open. And I was like, fucking right, and just sent the rest of my army in.
Fantastic.
And it was really satisfying in the high elf campaign to have dragons and fly like a bird and like shit that your generals were on mounts, because you could just fly in to over the walls and just fly in and start attacking people. And one of the units that high elves get are just like giant attack birds, like fucking
cool.
giant birds. And I would just send them at archers and shit, and they just grab them and take them up and drop them.
Yeah.
And smash them around. It was awesome. Dude, this game's fucking fun.
Yeah, no, this game is really fun. Really fun.
Fucking fun, dude.
We'll keep it on the list.
Yeah, I want to keep it on the list because I did not complete the campaign, and I would like to come back to it.
Yeah.
Possibly when Total Warhammer 3... that's what people call it. It's Total Warhammer. Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm going to stick with it. Total Warhammer. Total Warhammer 3 is coming out relatively soon, sometime this year, I believe.
Is it? Wow.
And I'm curious if they're going to put the first 2 games into the third one like they did, and just have you can play this one long ass continuous thing, and that would be how I want to do it, because it's like you can just see the whole thing at once.
Yeah.
Though I will say that the Eye of the Vortex campaign is like very narrative focused, and it's like as you play, there are certain things that you're worrying about getting taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Mortal Empires has that stuff, but it's more of a sandbox experience. Like you can kind of just experience it how you want.
Yeah.
So whatever floats your boat, But I would definitely recommend, if you've got the money, to buy both the games, and then just load up Total Warhammer 2 and play them. There are some visual differences, some better, some worse. That's just players, whatever tickles your fancy.
Yeah.
But man, I like this game enough that if I see some DLC on sale, I'm probably gonna snag it.
Yeah, no, same.
Like
if it's on sale, I'm definitely gonna go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, we'll figure it out.
How many Warhammers?
I was about. God damn it! You read my mind. How many Warhammers I would give this for a strategy game? I'd say, like, for my personal, I'd give this like an 8 and then if I'm just ranking it out of strategy games that I've played, I would definitely give it like a 9.5. It's up there. It was fucking fun. I had a lot of fun.
No, I had a lot of fun. Maybe this is a game, if I actually pay attention to the story, would even like make the score higher. Like, I'm gonna assume like they're not gonna make a game this good and have a shit storyline for the campaign. So if I pay attention to it, my score will probably be higher. But I'm gonna go like 8.25, 8.5. Like, this was ridiculously fun for not knowing anything other than getting into combat. Like,
yeah, dude, I had a blast. Oh man, so real quick before we wrap up and stuff, one thing that almost fucked me was upkeep costs. Mm-hmm. So I pumped out a bunch of armies, right? And just had them full, ranked up, ready to go. Took me a bunch of turns to do it. And then I looked up and realized that it was costing me like 3,000 gold a turn, and I only had like 10,000 gold left. And I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So I immediately just like picked a few other races and was like, all right, yeah, I'm going to go to war with you guys and just take you over.
Dark elves, slave armies, like no upkeep.
Well, see, I would take, yeah, that's true. And I think there's an undead type faction that you can play as, and your skeletons and stuff don't cost anything, because it's like, fuck, their skeletons, they die, you just raise more.
No upkeep.
The high elves definitely had some fucking upkeep. And
this isn't my like first like war strategy game other than like Civilization. I've played a couple browser based ones, and upkeep is like, that will be a bitch if you don't pay attention to it.
So I did add a couple games to the list this week.
I added one as well, two as well. Did we talk about PGA?
I think we might have mentioned that last week, but we can mention that again. Yeah, you got PGA Tour 2K21.
Yeah, I picked that up, and then I picked up Retromania Wrestling last night.
Fuck yeah, I need to remember to try to check that out.
Yeah, I gotta download that and check that out too.
So I added Battle Chef Brigade. When I first got my Switch, it was one of the first digital games that I bought.
Yeah.
And since we never did my birthday game, we talked about it, but we never did it. I might end up cashing it in to play Battle Chef Brigade soon because the game is fucking fun, dude.
Yeah.
It's like you go out in like a beat 'em up style 2D thing and gather ingredients, and then you go back into the kitchen, and then you use it's like a match 3 Joule type thing, and you cook, and you try to cook the best you can, and it's like Iron Chef, and it gets intense where you were like hands shaking trying to get the fucking ingredients right, and you're running out of time. You're like, no, this needs to be. Oh man, they really did a good job at that. Like, all right, you got 2 minutes left on the clock. You need to get it down on the plate, and like that fucking anxiety that you feel when you're watching Iron Chef for the people that are trying to do it. Yeah, it's really good. And then because of how much I enjoyed Total War Warhammer 2, I picked up Total War Medieval 2, which had really good ratings, the definitive edition. And then I got Total War Rome 2, which the Emperor edition, which apparently was absolute ass on launch and then became really good afterwards. But
No Man's Sky.
Yeah, which is exactly why I did not hold that against the game. So I was like, I'll snag it. But yeah, man, I got it from G2A.com, and if anybody is interested in Battle Chef Brigade, I paid I think like $270 something for it on G2A. So G2A.com is a key selling site. I don't know how people feel about those. They are legal. Just make sure you get it from a reputable buyer. Especially they have like rankings on there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they'll have like a star, and then there'll be like a certified seller and stuff like that. Get it from them. You'll have no issues at all. And fuck it, $2 instead of 15 or 20. You know. So yeah. Anyway. Those are the games that I added. Total War Warhammer was awesome. We already ran Steamy. South Park: The Stick of Truth is going to be our next game. I am going to stream this on Twitch at some point this week.
So you already started, or are you going to start a new game for the stream?
I did already start it to kind of refresh myself with the combat and stuff.
Did you name your character like an actual name?
I attempted to, but we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah.
But yeah, I attempted to.
Man.
I will say, without spoiling it too much, if you just agree with him the first time, you get an achievement. And I don't know what it is, but I want to get that achievement. But yeah, so I'm maybe I remember Turtle Bear said, I gotta remember when he said he streams. It'll be this week sometime. It'll be on the Discord and on the Facebook. Maybe tomorrow night, Tuesday, which would be Tuesday. Maybe Friday or Thursday. I don't know. It'll be sometime. Keep your eye out. I will make sure to put it out on social media and the Discord and let everybody know. And then once Ryan gets his new PC, you might catch him on there streaming as well. But for now, it'll just be me and my big ugly mug. So come say hello. I will talk all sexy to you if you'd like. Ho ho. Ho ho, Mozari. So yeah, man, you got any final thoughts?
No, not really. I'm excited for South Park for sure. But
yeah, I asked Mr. Bay if he had any South Park, and sure as shit, wouldn't you know, he had every fucking episode. So I went ahead and got those, including the pandemic special, and I watched that, and fucking god.
Yeah, I love that one.
Holy shit, is it fun?
That one was great.
If you're out there and you haven't watched South Park in a while, Dave, I'm talking to you, Dave. You should really watch at least the last 2 seasons. When he starts
at least the last
Farm,
2. At least the last 2. I know every time I restart a watch through of South Park, I go all the way back to like season 5 and then start from there. Like the early seasons, they're funny and stuff, they're cool, but season 5 is when it starts to get like the longer story arcs and it becomes like 100% satire, and that's when it gets great.
Yeah, I agree. I think South Park really peaked when they started doing continuing stories. Like, God, it's so good. But that's more for next week. If you would like to find us on social media, you can go to Wow, you can go to facial.com. We have a site on there, and if you want a facial, we will gladly give it to you. Or if you want to give us a facial, it might cost a little more, but as the $1 million man said, everybody's got a price.
Everybody's got a price.
Yeah, you can go to facebook.com/The Steam Machine Podcast, or you can search the Steam Machine Podcast Lounge, which is our group. If just liking a page is not your thing, come join the group, talk to people, be active. It'd be wonderful. And if you'd like to join our Discord, it is pinned to the top of our Facebook page. And I found out, if you go on Google and you type in the Steam Machine Podcast Discord, it will bring up a link to the Facebook post that has the link to our Discord. So I know that's a lot of links. It's almost like we're playing Zelda. But if you click those and do that, you will find the Discord. Come join us. It's a good crew. It's growing slowly but surely, and we welcome anybody to come in, as long as you're not a dickhead, douchebag, or a see you next Tuesday. We welcome anybody. Just don't be a douche. That's all we ask. You can find some of our older stuff on YouTube if you search the Steam Machine Podcast. We're a bit behind on that, and I take full responsibility for that. But I just haven't done it. The views were not reciprocating with the time I was putting into it yet. So we'll see. I might get back to that eventually. What else? Oh, we have a Patreon.
Oh yeah.
Patreon.com/The Steam Machine Podcast. Shout out to Nate Turtle Bud. What the fuck? That's what I should call you, Turtle Bud, because Game Buds. But no, Turtle Bear Man. Nate, he's the man. He is our first cog in the machine, but we have a few other Patreons that we call the oil of the machine, and we welcome anybody to come on there. We do episodes that are just for Patreon. Me and Ryan bullshitting. We're going to try to do some challenges. I was talking about maybe me and Ryan both ordering a one-chip challenge.
Oh.
And then eating it, and then having his lady Corinne quiz us on games that we've played for the show, and see if we can handle it while we're both dying.
Oh.
And I think I'm going to do maybe a bi-weekly music podcast where I share some music, talk about it, what inspired me, kind of let you guys in on the musician side of moi. But yeah, there's that, and then if you go on, I think it's TSMP Productions on Threadless. There's a link to it pinned at the top of the Facebook page. You can go get a shirt. Do you like our logo? You can get a shirt with our logo on it, or you can get a shirt with our Patreon only logo on it, and both are cool. I say that we made them, so we hope you like them. Ryan made the Steam one, I made the Patreon one. Anyways, I'm rambling at this point. I'm just stoned and tired, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and just shut the fuck up. He's Ryan. I'm Dalton, and as always, guys, take it easy.